All right, guys, welcome back to another video. So over the weekend, there was this tweet that has been circulating around gaming social media. A lot of people have been talking about it. You can see also there's already some readers, context, community notes added on to what this is talking about. But basically, this is a tweet from a Japanese investor, somebody who has, I guess, some sort of credentials and looking at the numbers in investments and stocks and all that type of stuff, speculating, and he put out a tweet about PlayStation and the fact that they may be going bankrupt in the near future, I believe in the next couple of years or so. Now, first of all, right off the bat, I have to say, I don't believe this whatsoever. I think this is a bogus tweet, and I don't think this is representative of the situation that PlayStation is in whatsoever. But I do want to talk about it because a lot of people have been looking at it and wondering if there is any validity to it. And I'll give you kind of just my opinion overall. So this is where it all started from this person on Twitter, Jack Crispy, saying that PlayStation 5 is at risk of losing everything, or PlayStation is at risk of losing everything. A Japanese financial trader has inside information about what's really happening at Sony and the disaster Jim Ryan is leaving behind. And this is the profile. Obviously, I don't understand anything that's said on here. It's all been translated, and translation through Google isn't usually that great. But here's what they say. Securities reseller. He's an old man investor, researches past data and makes event investments in material stock speculation. Investment experience began around 2006 during the live door shock, and he tweets about economics and stock investment materials and all this type of stuff. So basically, this is somebody who just is a speculator, makes guesses that he's probably been wrong a lot, maybe been right a couple times, and puts out information for people who want to go out and invest in certain things. And he's talking here about PlayStation, and this is what he says. There is talk that Sony's games business is about to go bankrupt. The president of the game business, SIE, has been replaced. And since there is no successor, the president of the head office is taking on the concurrent position. Sony's overall inventory is 2 trillion yen, but the game business alone accounts for 960 billion yen. If you simply divide by the unit price of PS5, you will have about 13 million units in stock. Says this is bad stock. However, it seems that the PS5 is already being sold at a significantly reduced price in the US, so the market value will decrease further, which could be a factor in the downside of the company's results. Now, I believe the community notes that were put on the tweet was about the price cuts for the PlayStation 5. The reality of the situation is they cut the price because of Black Friday, which is what you see. I mean, you can go historically and look at console generations and years into the generation, when you're about midway through, which I would say we are there at this point, we're getting there. Consoles get reductions in prices during sales events all the time, and Black Friday has always been one of those sales events that major reductions in prices come, and people go and they pick up the consoles for the cheaper price. People who don't have one yet, and people even go and buy second consoles at these flash prices. So I think that's what he's referring to, which wouldn't point out to anything to be worried about because of the price cut. Continues here and says, if this year-end sales season doesn't work out, won't they finally shut down the game business? There's also talk of this. The change of SIE's president is an expression of the company's sense of crisis. According to the story on the Game Otaku board, there seems to be a strong possibility that there was a lack of communication between SIE and SOO headquarters. The head office approved SIE's baseless bullish strategy, but in reality, the company ended up with a mountain of inventory, and the company hurriedly replaced the president and placed the company under the direct control of the head office. It's okay to take the information at face value since it's from an Otaku board, but the stories are all connected. So there it is. I don't think this is correct. However, what he is essentially saying is that they have so much more inventory than they're going to be able to sell. They're going to lose a ton of money off of the PlayStation 5. Now, you have to look at what's happened with the PS5 this generation, essentially, to see if this thing has any validity. Like I said, I don't think it does, and I think PlayStation's fine. But in terms of their actual sales, the PS5 is selling very well. In fact, at the beginning of this year, they were outpacing the PS4 in terms of the sales during the same time period. And they are trying to hit 25 million units sold in this year's fiscal, which it would be a huge number for them. But with that being said, at their last financial report, Hiroki Totoki has said that they are not going to be able to hit that number easily, and a way to be able to hit that would be through these price cuts through the holiday season, hoping to have a major holiday season. Now, where are some red flags when you think about this type of stuff? The PlayStation Portal. That is something we saw the other day that Matt Piscatella from Circana was told by PlayStation. He tweeted this out that PlayStation had told him that they need to include the PlayStation Portal into the hardware sales numbers. And that to me just absolutely doesn't make any sense why they want to do that other than trying to inflate their sales numbers specifically so that they can go and hit that 25 million target and then go to the investors and say, hey, look, we hit our goals and everything is okay. There's nothing to worry about. So that would be something, if you're looking at PlayStation, you probably big, why would they want to do this? There's no real reason to do it. The PS5 is still a top seller. It's still doing very well overall. But if they have so much inventory on hand, so much inventory that they need to get rid of, then they have to convince people that everything is going to be okay. The other thing is we do know that their profit margins are slimmer and slimmer. I believe the profit margin has been the slimmest since the 2019 fiscal year. I mean, from their not their most recent financial report, but the financial report before that, that's where their profit margin was. And we know with PlayStation, they are just continuously having to deal with the rising costs of making their games and then making sure that people are going out and buying them, which is reducing the actual creativity within their studios. Why they're putting out these remasters of The Last of Us and The Last of Us 2 over and over again, because they know people are going to spend the money on that, and the actual production costs of those are going to be lower than having to go out there and make a brand new IP and a brand new game from the ground up, all that type of stuff. So those things as well for PlayStation are definitely concerning because they haven't expanded their ecosystem out far enough to be able to offset some of the costs for developing their games as their costs do continuously increase. We've seen lots of layoffs at PlayStation, and we've seen Jim Ryan leave. It's been a bad year in 2023 for PlayStation, no matter how you want to slice it. The bright spot has been Spider-Man 2, but besides that, it has been a very bad year in pretty much every other way. And it kind of goes back, I know this is kind of a tangent here, but you think about the Xbox tax that we've been talking about and people have been going on about. Remember in 2022, it was nonstop talking about how bad of a year it was for Xbox because it was a bad year. I haven't seen enough in the media about the PlayStation 5 and the year they have had and the future of the platform. If the main thing for the PS5 fans is their first party content, because right now 2024 is looking extremely bare from first party output. We may see some big things at the Game Awards. Who knows, right? We may see some stuff announced in the next couple of months, and then 2024 is going to have a beautiful layout for everybody who has a PS5 to be excited about. But as of right now, it isn't looking great. Not that many people are talking about it, but then you see stuff like this. And although I don't think it is correct, I don't think it's true. I think this person is absolutely guessing with some very surface level calculations here as to what is going on at PlayStation. They are definitely not in the best spot. They definitely aren't where they were during the PS4 with their overall business. But let's jump over here and let's talk about something else. Talk about Halo Infinite, because this is a very great success story how this game has bounced back and continues to bounce back. Now, it isn't the number one played game or anything like that, but it is continuing to do very, very well. And it has passed Destiny 2 on Xbox's most played games list in the US. And for a lot of people, this is extremely surprising with how popular Destiny 2 was and is. And obviously right now it is in a rough patch and people are falling off, but Halo Infinite has made a surge, and I think 343 needs a ton of credit here. It would have been great to see them get nominated for best ongoing game or something like that, or just anything to recognize them, especially when you look at the list of games that did get nominated for the Game of the Year awards. But Halo Infinite has been phenomenal with the content they've released in 2023, and they continue to release great content. As of right now, they are sitting at number 16 in the most played games on Xbox, whereas Destiny 2 has actually fallen to number 17. And why has this happened? Well, Season 5 has been very good. October 17th, when they released Season 5, they had some new maps, they had some cool game modes, and they added some great Forge stuff, which is allowing you to make PvE experiences, and the ability to actually have AI in Forge has really helped people make some really cool stuff, and they're going to continue to make some awesome stuff. They added the Halo 4 extraction mode. There is going to be obviously the King of the Hill PvE fire